They didn't offer to transport you?
No.
I mean, this is a part of the hospital's process, which a lot of people won't realise how difficult it is. You're in a different place, you don't know the store, you don't know how the transport system works, you don't know whether anybody's going to pay for it, all these sorts of problems which you have to be able to sort out for yourself. And I carried your bag that you had from the airport, remarkably heavy bag. It didn't look very heavy, but it was very heavy. Difficult for you?
It was extremely difficult, but fortunately for me I had my 2 sons there.
Right, okay. So you get into the Churchill Hospital and you're there for how long?
I was in the Churchill for 2 weeks, and then I was discharged, and then I went into the John Radcliffe Hospital last Saturday to have the PEG, the gastro tube, removed from my stomach.
Because there was an issue arose that Jersey had closed down for the Liberation celebrations, and the hospital, there was nobody could be contacted there, and I remember you trying to make contact with somebody to see if you could come back, and it wasn't possible to make contact. I don't know whether that became an issue, did it, or not?
Well, I was told that the hospital could only be contacted, the bed manager could only be contacted as an emergency, and because it was bank holidays, it wasn't classed as an emergency. So I stayed over there, and I managed to get the PEG taken out, so it worked for me.
We're dealing mostly with the aspects which don't relate to the treatment as such, but these are the practical problems which are fairly simple for people to understand, and some of the technical stuff about the operations people may not be understanding. You may not want to discuss them, I don't know. But this process by which you then came back, how did you get back from the hospital? You were back to the Radcliffe Hospital. You were sleeping there, were you, at the back of the Radcliffe? Yes,
I went back to the John Radcliffe Hospital. I had the procedure done there to remove the gastroscopy PEG, and then I travelled back to Jersey, had to get the taxi from the hospital down to the train station, then the 70-minute train journey up to the
Did you
airport.
have to pay for that out of cash that you might have? How did you pay for the...
I paid for it,
right.
And then today I've been and claimed back the money from the General Hospital.
So that was reimbursed. That has been reimbursed, but you have to have the money at the time. So you got the train down to Southampton Airport.
Yeah.
You had to carry your bag across again as best you can.
Yeah.
Did you get any assistant porters available? People? Because,
no, I was meant to have had wheelchair assistance, but there was no wheelchair, so I did it myself.
So you arrived back at the airport where you discover that Blue Island, you were not in favour of Blue Island.
No, Blue Island wouldn't accept me as a passenger.
How did they let you know that? Was it at the desk? Did they say we're not taking you? What did they? How did they?
No, I had a phone call from the travel desk at the hospital, the General Hospital, and they told me that unfortunately they were refusing me access onto the flight.
And what did the hospital understand? Did they know anything about what happened?
Apparently, I disrupted the flight and I caused vandalism to the toilet compartment.
Which, of course, it was the man on the plane who helpfully let you into the toilet. Otherwise, they'd have had
me access.
A lot of rather smelly stuff all over their plane.
They would have.
So you got back onto an alternative flight.
Yeah, with Flybe.
And that was okay, no problem?
No problem at all. I was sat at the back, row 18, right by the toilet.
Okay. And that's paid for by the hospital? Did you have a ticket? Did you have to pay out your own money to get the flight, or did you have a ticket or anything?
No, the ticket was waiting for me when I got to the airport.
So that worked quite well?
Yes. Back
to Jersey, and then you'll be, at some point, going back to the hospital for treatment?
4 weeks. 4 weeks' time, I'm going back to the UK. I've got to have scans and things done over here because they're not sure, now I finished the antibiotics, if the abscess is going to start refilling. So it's just a matter of wait and see. Okay, there's another aspect we'll talk about, but we're going to talk about that on a little separate bit of recording.